timely words from Third World as we celebrate Reggae Month and pay tribute to the legacy of lead singer Bunny Ruggs. Let's join hands across this nation, start a love train, and unite for a changed society. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Coming up in the show, energy conservation measures being employed by the government, plus one man's teachings on the liberation of the mind. His legacy lives on. We'll have much more, so stay with us. The news and this important message are up next.
That's right. Join your hands, start a love train.
Musicians, users of music instruments. If you're a registered member of the Jamaica Federation of Musicians or the Recording Industry of Jamaica, you may apply for a waiver of duty on the importation of music equipment. You'll need to submit the following: a letter of request to the Film Commission or Creative Industries Unit, and a pro forma invoice detailing the items being imported with corresponding serial numbers and costs. Jamaica Promotions Corporation JAMPRO will submit the documents to the Ministry of Finance for approval. You must get approval before the items arrive. For more information on the Music Tools of Trade incentive, click on the Tourism and Entertainment Ministry's website at mot.gov.jm or call the Ministry's Entertainment Division at 920-4926-30. Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 6. Government is predicting that the Jamaican economy will again expand in the January to March quarter. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips made that assertion while updating diplomats Wednesday on the government's economic reform program. Details from Andrea Chisholm.
The Jamaican economy has been modestly expanding since the third quarter of 2013, recording almost 1% growth. And with the government's economic reform program gaining traction, further growth is expected in the quarter ending December 2013 as well as the present quarter. The finance minister pointed to the expected growth areas.
Expansion in agriculture, which annualized has grown at more than 5% over the period. Significantly in mining, tourism, and other services, business process operations, for the most part, and construction.
Dr. Phillips added that even though the growth target for the four-year program with the IMF was 2%, the goal was to overshoot that target. This will be possible through major growth projects such as the Logistics Hub Initiative, expansion of the North-South Highway Link, tourism, and the Agro-Parks project. For the Integrated Resorts project, which includes casino gambling, 4 proposals are being evaluated and the preferred bidder is expected to be announced by this summer. For GIS News, I'm Andrea Chisholm.
More than 100 persons have been arrested under the Law Reform Fraudulent Transactions Special Provisions Act. The legislation, which was passed in March 2013, seeks to clamp down on those involved in the lottery scam.
And every case so far that has come to court has resulted in convictions.
The National Security Minister, Peter Bunting, who was addressing the diplomatic corps on Wednesday, added that Parliament would begin debating the anti-gang bill next Tuesday. The bill, entitled the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Act 2013, is aimed at dismantling criminal gangs to combat organized crime. The Health Ministry is dispatching more registration forms to accommodate the tremendous response to the launch of the Government of Jamaica GOJ Health Card. It was launched on Friday, January 31, and registration began on February 3 in all public health facilities, the Ministry of Health's head office, and the National Health Fund. The ministry says most of the 30,000 forms distributed on day 1 of the process were utilized. Additional forms continue to be distributed on a daily basis to the regional health authorities. Completed forms are to be submitted to any public health facility, the Ministry of Health, any office of the Regional Health Authority, as well as the NHF head office and its help desks. The use of the card will begin in all public health facilities on March 3, 2014. As part of efforts to develop a first world health service, the Health Ministry is taking steps to establish a comprehensive customer care policy for all its institutions.
After dealing with infrastructure, dealing with the human resource side in terms of our professionals, doing the best surgery, having the best hands, if we fail to produce persons who take seriously how we treat our clients or patients, then everything we do go to naught.
The health minister made the disclosure while addressing a recent banquet in celebration of the National Health Fund, the NHF's 10th anniversary. He urged individuals to place greater focus on adopting a healthy lifestyle to have a greater chance of preventing chronic illnesses.
We have to start to put more focus on prevention, which will have important repercussions, for the health bill and for the general well-being and productivity of the population. It is cheaper to maintain health than to treat persons for their lifetime, especially when they have to seek hospital care.
Since its inception, the NHF has disbursed more than $27 billion in health benefits and health promotion. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Roger Clark says government is now exploring avenues to capitalize on the export of mangoes. The minister recently revealed that United States authorities have given Jamaica the go-ahead to export mangoes to that country. That, he says, presents an investment opportunity for the setting up of a hot wash plant through which the mangoes must go before being exported. He tells JIS News that the ministry is looking to find an investor to put up that plant. Minister Clark made the disclosure after successfully mediating between yam farmers and exporters for a price increase for the growers. As a result, farmers will now get $40 per pound of yam instead of $35. The new agreement was brokered during a meeting at the Agriculture Ministry last week. Minister Clark reiterated the need for more value-added products to come from the sector, saying that could result in increased earnings for the farmers. Over 10,000 residents in Anchovy St. James now have increased access to computer-related services following the official opening of the Lethe Primary Technology Center. The facility, which is located at the Lethe Primary School, is equipped with about 16 computers, desks, chairs and printers to be used by students and community members. The project, which cost over $3 million, was funded by the Universal Service Fund. Technology Minister Philip Paulwell says the aim was to give residents increased access to internet and other computer-related services to boost the knowledge and employment.
This is where the new jobs will come from. This is where the world is going, and it provides for Jamaica a tremendous opportunity to, rather from coming from behind, for us to lead. But you need to have the human resources.
Minister Paulwell adds that the Universal Service Fund will pay the full internet fee for the first year of operations at the Technology Center. Labour and Social Security Minister Derek Kelly has urged the users of the center to take care of the equipment. 840 state-of-the-art computer systems are to be implemented in libraries and information centers across the island, courtesy of the Jamaica Library Service. The announcement was made by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Elaine Foster Allen. She was addressing the recent opening ceremony for the Library and Information Association of Jamaica Conference.
We want to ensure that this Jamaica Library Service, which is the largest single provider of free access to computers, to the internet, and to all the resources that are available, continue to work in the interest of Jamaica.
Mrs. Foster Allen encouraged the Library Service to remain current and provide critical information on topical issues such as the Global Logistics Hub Initiative and the uses of marijuana. The conference was held under the theme Harnessing Information for National Development. State Minister of Tourism and Entertainment Damian Crawford has called on Jamaica's young men to develop a greater sense of responsibility and contribute to nation building. The minister was speaking at the annual Boys' Day at the Jose Marti Technical High School recently. While acknowledging that men are the major perpetrators of crime in society, he challenged the young men to become positive agents of change.
Primary doing is this. All on have potential. All on have great potential. But potential by itself is nothing. If you don't focus on making yourself capable, if you don't focus on making yourself better in school, then you're going to enjoy 5 years and suffer 50 years.
Strategies to address climate change have intensified globally as a key international agreement addressing the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions is to be adopted by nations across the globe by 2015. Climate Change Minister Robert Pickersgill disclosed the news recently while reporting on the major outcomes of the 19th Conference of Parties on Climate Change held in Warsaw, Poland late last year. He said the United Nations agreed to either start or increase its preparation for the national contribution to this new agreement.
That agreement will have a legal form and will be applicable to all. It is expected to enter into force in 2020. Low emitters such as Jamaica and other small island developing states as well as least developed countries should be given special considerations. Parties also agreed to submit by the first quarter of 2015 clear and transparent plans for reducing their emissions.
And finally, 4 new members of the land surveying profession were officially commissioned recently and presented with their certificates by the Minister with Portfolio Responsibility for Land, Robert Pickersgill. He pointed out that surveyors had a vital role to play in the land titling program of the government.
It is you who provide the measurements and the objective information related to surveying, mapping, and cartography to help to decide the size and configuration of a parcel of land, whether the owner or intended owner is an individual, a group of persons, a company, an organization, or the state.
Minister Pickersgill urged the new practitioners to procure the necessary GPS equipment as soon as possible to better utilize the services of the government's virtual reference station. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.
Avoid, alter, accept. 3 steps to help you quit smoking. 3 things to help you kick that cigarette butt. Avoid places, people, and things that encourage smoking. Alter the way you do things.
If you normally drive a certain route, and when you drive a certain route, you're going to pass a bar. Drive a different route, you don't pass the bar.
Get rid of ashtrays and all smoking apparatus. Breathe in and out. Drink some water. Count to 300. Go for a walk and hang around non-smokers. And after all that, accept that you need help.
With support, you're going to find, oh, I really feel better with support. Because the person who's supporting you is going to say, you know, I'm proud of you.
Do it one day at a time. Join the fight and quit smoking for life.
The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining has been working in earnest to reduce the government's high cost of electricity through the implementation of efficiency measures. We have highlights of some of the projects undertaken up to last year.
Cool roof application, solar window tint, air condition and lighting retrofits.
At any location that we implement this mix of initiatives, we're looking at a 30% reduction in their energy consumption.
And a 30% savings on all government ministries and agencies' energy bill will calculate into millions of dollars in savings. Since 2011, the government has set out to reduce its energy expenditure, and with a grant of $20 million from the Inter-American Development Bank, the Energy Efficiency Conservation EEC program was activated. The program identified areas within the public sector that are to benefit from energy efficiency opportunities. Energy audits were carried out on several government buildings. The findings revealed savings of approximately $100 million if the recommended retrofits are undertaken. This covers 3 areas.
One is the building envelope retrofits, which is to make the buildings less susceptible to heat ingress. The air conditioning retrofits to get more efficient air conditioning, and the retrofit of inefficient lighting.
As the work got off to a start, cool roof application and the tinting of windows were applied to several government buildings, including the Office of the Prime Minister, the National Housing Trust, and the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. The procedure is to significantly reduce the heat on the buildings.
We're in applying the cool roof solution, which is really a highly reflective coating to roofs. And when you take an infrared thermometer and check before and after, the temperature at the surface that is not treated is 121 degrees. The temperature at the surface that is treated is 85 degrees. So you're looking at approximately 35 to 40 degrees difference. And this is in the winter time. In the summer, when the temperature is warmer and the sun is more intense, you're going to find that the temperature difference is going to be larger. So the impact on your energy consumption is going to be significant.
And the savings don't stop there.
The solar film that we have applied to the windows, it's not just color tinting. It will reduce the solar radiation coming through the window by approximately 70 to 80%. And that will have a direct impact on the air conditioning load.
Having done the building envelope retrofits, the air conditioning needs would be considerably lower now that the buildings are much cooler. So the next step is assessing the current air conditioning configuration, and where there is inefficiency, corrective measures are taken.
And if we can replace many of the current old inefficient units, we expect to see approximately 30 to 40% saving in the air conditioning demand for electricity.
In addition to replacing the units, part of the energy efficiency conservation program is the implementation of a management system that will automatically turn off or lower the temperature on air conditioning units when no one is occupying the room, and do the same for lights. The aim is to use cooling and lighting only where it is absolutely necessary.
We want to have the system be able to ramp from almost 0 to 100% based on the demand. And those are the kind of techniques that this project is bringing to the table to avail the public sector of a new paradigm in terms of energy efficiency.
Serious about cutting its electricity bill significantly, the government also set out to address the need for more efficient lighting across government entities.
That we will convert from incandescent and some inefficient fluorescent to LED and more efficient lighting.
With all these drastic changes, public sector workers were brought on board to promote the conservation of energy within their respective ministries and agencies. Some of the behavior changes they are promoting include
not using the elevator if you're going just up one floor, turning the air conditioning unit up, turning off the lights if you're not using it, using your screensaver on the computer so you don't leave the screen on and have it running all the time, turning the computer off if you're going out for a long while.
Officers with responsibility for energy management were also trained in areas such as the importance of energy conservation to national development, the impact on the performance of government entities, and workers' role in managing government's energy assets and resources. These officers will now be able to evaluate their ministry or department's energy usage and effectively monitor and take the necessary corrective action.
We need to put in place a sustainable system for this kind of behavior change, because ultimately what we want is to have a national energy reduction target, and it is those persons who are trained that would I expect to be the vanguard for that.
The government, through the Energy Efficiency Conservation Program, is bent on making the public sector an energy-conscious model for the rest of the society.
The government will be the guinea pig. And having been the guinea pig, we can say, we have been there, we see the impact. And the impact is economic enough for you to go boldly and do the same thing. And if everybody in Jamaica adopts the principle that we're talking about, not just the government now with our $13 billion bill, but the whole of the country, we can now have our energy more efficiently used and our money available for other more productive things.
God knows how much I've tried, the truth I cannot hide, to keep you satisfied. True love I now exist is the love I can't resist, so jam by my side. Ooh, yeah.
Equality, equal rights and the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the Disputes Resolution Foundation, paid for by the UN Women Fund for Gender Equality.
As we celebrate Black History Month, we reflect on the legacy of our first national hero, Marcus Garvey, a master teacher of the emancipation of the mind.
A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots.
No one remember old Marcus Garvey. No one remember.
A boy of humble beginnings, taking his first steps towards a life decorated and defined by the search for a proud Black identity. The journey began on August 17, 1887, in a rural district nestled in the Garden Parish of St. Anne, where the union of a mason and a domestic worker birthed a living legacy of Black self-empowerment.
When you hear him describe his mother, Sarah Jane Garvey, she had a different kind of influence on him. I think that he inherited a lot of her sense of compassion.
Marcus also inherited much from his father, Marcus Mosiah Garvey Sr. Together, his parents gave him a strong foundation, starting at 32 Market Street in St. Anne's Bay. The Universal Negro Improvement Association, the Pan-African Movement, the Negro Factories Corporation, the Black Star Liner Shipping Company, all symbols of achievement to which Garvey could lay claim. But his life was more than the public platform familiar to most. Garvey was equal parts Pan-Africanist and father, equal parts scholar and son, national hero and lifetime student. As a young boy, Garvey developed a love of reading, first from his father's private library, and later the more extensive collection of his godfather Alfred Burroughs. An apprenticeship with Burroughs at age 14 provided a platform for literary expression through the printing press. It's an influence that would find expression in several newspaper developments and publications throughout Garvey's life. Even as he trod the path of visionary, philosopher, and scholar, Marcus Garvey was a family man. After a long courtship, he married Amy Ashwood in a private Catholic church ceremony, followed by an elaborate public ceremony and reception at Liberty Hall on Christmas Day, 1919. The union didn't last. But Garvey found love and family life again with his longtime secretary, Amy Jakes. The two married in July 1922 and had two sons, Marcus Jr. and Julius.
You can see letters that they wrote to each other when his sons were in Jamaica and he was in England. He has nicknames for them. He speaks to them the same way a loving father would speak to any child.
From the dirt tracks in a small rural community to a global stage promoting change, the right excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey was the epitome of ambition.
When you look at his background versus what he was able to achieve in a very, very short time period, you have to recognize that it was ambition that was driving him. But most importantly, he had ambition not just for himself, but for people of his race. He wanted Black people to be liberated in every sense of the word, not just physically, but mentally, economically, socially, and so on.
On June 10, 1940, a nation lost a hero. Humanity lost a world changer. Marcus Garvey was finally laid to rest in 1964 in Jamaica after 52 short years. The man from St. Anne's Bay had given Black people a new way of looking at themselves. He'd told them to embrace their identity, that they could achieve anything.
A few what you will.
No one remember old Marcus Garvey. No one remember old Marcus Garvey.
I turn off the lights when I'm not using them. When I'm using the washing machine, I plug out the refrigerator.
Plug out the appliances, and if necessary use one bulb, but doesn't matter what you do, you're still getting a high electricity bill.
By turning off the lights and turning off appliances when they are not in use.
I plug out most of my stuff and I use my machine one time per week.
You can unplug appliances when not in use and turn off lights when you're not in offices or at home or anywhere else.
I walk around and I turn off all the lights. If the fan is on, I turn it off if no one is in the room using it. And basically that is what I do.
I turn off everything, the light. Sometimes plug out even the phone charger. Everything we plug out.
There'll be a better tomorrow. 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 There'll be a day. There'll be a way. There'll come a time to sing a brand new song. There'll be a better tomorrow.
That's how we leave you for today, but our information continues to flow on our website, so visit us at jis.gov.jm. You can also forward your comments on Twitter at JISnews or via email, Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Remember to tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, for more. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.